Alrighty guys, so just a real quick update. Got this all finally welded, some good, some bad welds, usual for kind of learning how to TIG and everything. And then I got the downpipe wrapped, and I put these massive steel cable ties on. You have to kind of apply it with a gun to get good pressure on them, but they are the business. Like, so I actually quite like the wrap. It feels good and solid. I soaked it overnight and then applied it, and it's probably been a day or two since then, and it's kind of got dried out a little bit, but you can still feel a little bit of damp going on in it. That gives you an idea of the shape of the actual exhaust. So you have both a turn here to go that way, and it comes back down and actually turns back. There's quite a bit in that shape. I'm quite happy with the shape, but maybe I might be able to get a better fit with a bit more experience, but for the time being I'm quite happy with the way that fits. So I'm going to fit this now to the engine bay, or to the engine. Then I'm going to fit that midsection on, and at that point then I will be able to start fabbing up the back of it. I'm hoping that I won't have to take the downpipe back out. So what I've done also is I've started taping up the inside of here and down into that. You'll see that when the midsection is on, but down here as well, all that swoop in is taped. I had the heat shield in, and I thought it was touching, so I thought better off not to be touching, if you know what I mean, and have a little bit of air gap rather than having the proper heat shielding. So that stuff, there's a couple of layers on that. That's real paper thin stuff. That's what they would use for insulating ducting, like high pressure ducting. So it's got to go with the shear rate, and it is actually just like an adhesive tinfoil. There's no depth to it. So then the other thing is I'll be able to then fit the pipe, and then I actually have to fish in the one for over here. It does fit with the two in there, but you can't take the pipe in or out without taking off that heat shield that goes over the steering box. So that's that. I'll get that fitted, get the midsection fitted in as well, and I'll start fabbing up the back section then. Just a update on the oil cooler. Just threw in, made these brackets up. That's galvanized steel. I'm going to paint it over with the same black. I have to do a quick little paint up anyway for where I made the cuts for the intercooler pipe work, or intercoolers. That all has to be painted, so at the same point I'll mix up a batch and I'll paint the brackets at the same time. Same for the coolers. I'll paint all their brackets at the same time, so it should be all. Again, the intercooler brackets are made out of galvanized steel as well, so little brackets stuff I actually really annoy me more when they rust, because they end up rounding out nuts and bolts, and it just becomes an issue. Whole nightmare. I'll get the pipes made up maybe tomorrow. If I get a chance today, I'll fit the pipes here. I'll fit them, the ones that are going over the ladder, I'll fit them to the engine and make sure that they fit right, kind of get an idea of the plot line, mark it off with a line to say that that's the front, and then we'll get our 90s put in for the BMS, or not BMS, the BSP fitments for either side here. So that's the way it's going to look for the time being. I've started, believe it or not, I think I started looking into, or at least I've had the initial thoughts to start looking into making up custom air conditioning lines, and maybe getting a small air conditioning rad for just air, and then I would not have to change anything. Like even the one that came off, I was working on a more modern 2012 Mercedes E-Class there. The one that comes off that is actually smaller than the one that came off this. So the efficiency has changed over the years. So I might be able to find a small aircon rad that's those dimensions there. Put a fan just here in the middle of that screen, and that might be sufficient. Make up a couple of custom lines, and we'll have our aircon running without any real difficulty. Anyway, I say I might not run that straight away. That's for down the road. The main thing now is just to get the intercooler pipe work in, the exhaust made up, and the oil pipe is done. And then at that stage I have to wire in the alternator. What else do I have to do? I've got to do some of the wiring for this, put in the bypass ignition cylinder, you know, the one with the vacuum lock on it, or the vacuum on and off. I also want to put in, because with that sweeping thing, I actually want to put the diesel, the more modern, like let's say the revised 124 water reservoir for spray, you know, your washer fluid reservoir here. So I have that there, but then I also have another donor car here that I'm breaking for parts and that, and that's going to give me a few nice little parts on it. But it has the bracket. I forgot to take it off the last car, so I'll be able to bring that up here, and that means I'll be able to run the standard airbox for it and straight round to the turbo. So that'll be nice kind of factory look to the whole thing. Anyway guys, I will check back in with you when I have the exhaust maybe fitted as far as the midsection, and then starting to fab the back section. I'm going to fab it without a back box for the time being, and then I might get a back box if I find it's too loud. Maybe fairly soon after starting the car. Anyway, alright guys, thanks. Okay, so just a quick update before I start fabbing the back part of this exhaust. So the mount turned out pretty good, I'm happy with that. Just using the old one, chopped off that point there. It's actually a pre-manufacturer, a hole there from factory. Takes a 13mm bolt. Basically what I did there was I just cut a slither of the 3-inch pipe that I'm using, cut a section out the back, so you'll see the gap from there to there, and basically just bent out 2 sections, welded them together so they made a kind of a C-clamp. Got my location, got my fitment, did a dot, fit it, tack, and tack, and the same on the other side. Now, I have encountered a bit of an issue. So since putting the wrap on, let me see if I can get a good angle here for you guys to see it. I don't know, you might just be able to. No, I don't think you're going to see it. Basically, I'm touching here, and I'm touching the exhaust manifold just there. You actually did get a glimpse of that for a second. Let me see if I can find the angle again. There we go. Which it's basically, it's because of the because that exhaust wrap is actually quite thick, because you're doubling it up. You're not doubling it up, but you're going every kind of half the width. So at one point in every turn you are half overlapping. So I don't know what to do about that. I think I'm just going to let it go, see if an issue occurs, and then at that stage maybe try and resolve it then. I mean, look at it. We'll see. Look, I think the best thing to do is just get the car running, see if we get a big, imagine it'll be a quite sizable kadunk as the engine rattles on, if you know what I mean, turns on. And we'll know then at that stage that it's it'll either be hitting there, or it's going to be hitting at the cross member, the actual whole engine itself with the mounts. And we can try and resolve it then, maybe make a new downpipe or something. Anyway, I'm going to keep on keeping on, as I say, keep on fabbing to get my pipe just to come on out here. Alright, I'll check back in just when I have that tacked up and there's something to see. Alright. Alrighty guys, so just about to finish up for the day. What I basically have done, I've had a bit of an issue trying to get this to fit back here. There's a lot more going on than you would think at the back of the car. But anyway, so my 15-degree upsweep here had to be counteracted by 7.5 degrees going back. So actually I only needed 7.5 degree. sweep up, and that gives me a straight line across to here. So I'm pretty happy with the way that's looking. You know, I probably could have stepped it up into more into the cavity here, and then, but I mean, I don't think it needs it. But anyway, when I get to this point here, then to keep in line with where the exhaust originally went, I have to go through this point here and out. So I'm going to have to push these diesel pipes up, and I'm quite close to the CV boot. Not that close, as you can see. Like there is a good bit of space there. This, as I say, the suspension here is a full droop as well. You have to remember. So this is the tightest clearance as it will be. So basically, what I've done then since then is I've basically had to pipe around this point here to get me out here. So I have made this piece here. So we've got 245s when we come out the other side are slightly clocked, so they won't be exactly 45. We have the first two pieces here are 215s, as you can see there, making 30 degrees. Then I come back, that brings me away from the lower control arm, pushing here, coming this way. Then I come back another 15 degrees and another 7.5. So what's that? That's a 15 degree going back, and then this is 7.5 on a big piece. So that's going to be, geez, my maths is terrible. What will be 22.5 degrees, and then you've got a clocked 90 on it, or clocked 90 midpoint, and that kind of sets us up nicely. So if I can get you an image of it, I probably can't, but anyway, it comes around this point nicely, comes back over here. I'm going to turn it ever so slightly, so hopefully you can see that. Yeah, there we go. And then what I'm going to do then is I'm going to put my factory 90 coming down the side of the petrol tank or diesel tank, and again we're going to be coming in this gap here. We have the brake pipe right there, but as I say, I don't know how much heat would actually be in the pipe at this point back here. Maybe there's loads of heat. Maybe I'm running the risk of cooking stuff. I don't honestly know how much heat's going to be in it. Like that. This is the original plot line of the exhaust, so it makes it a bit peculiar, you know. If there is going to be cooking issues, but anyway, that's the current plan. So that 90 will just bring me straight out here, and then I'll bring a straight pipe and I'll put a little down swift on it here, and then at some point I might put the main back box in there. Anyway guys, that's me done for today. Got to put that 90 in, got to put a little section in tomorrow, and then it might be time, once we get that all tacked up, that might be this weekend, it might be time then to look at the intercooler pipe. Okay, cheers, thanks for watching. Okay, so just got the final back section fully welded, if you know what I mean. So it's no longer just tacks. The V-band is a bit ugly. The mounting bar here, a little bit ugly just there too. It's actually quite difficult to get that right. I need to look into that more, so how to fill in such a large gap in TIG. And then we have loads and loads of pie cuts back here. It actually took a really long time to weld this. So the tacks were all done and everything like that. And I think I was probably 2.5-3 hours just running beads. And so you'll see areas where there was a bit of a mess up, and then some nice welds, and then some not so nice ones, and then some not so nice ones. More not so nice than nice. And then I have just a little, just over 45, 56 I think, comes down to, for the back section. I did put in a little bracket here just to hold on that. It does, I didn't think it was going to make a difference, but actually it made quite a big difference into the to the car. So yeah, alright. So now it's just onto the intercooler.